Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. If you're driving past the shop, now we have our physical location is finally settled a little bit. We've kind of got ourselves situated. At least this is a good foundation for what I believe will lead to a future where I think the team can grow and feel comfortable. Clients can come in, they can ask questions. Um, all the things that I wished I could have done in the beginning, um, ever since the beginning. So, having found Paulina and Nick, pulling them in, my sister building them up, finding the sheet metal guys, finding these installers, finding Noe, the project managers, pulling other people from other companies to share the vision. Out of those names, there's hundreds, hundreds that didn't make it for whatever reason. And some of those people were amazing people. Some of those people were not amazing people. And some of those people had good skills, some of those people didn't have good skills. And the reality of growing a small business is you're ultimately you're forming a team. Who do you want on your team? You know? And when I get these reviews sometimes come through and they'll highlight individuals without a request. Generally, we're requesting. We'd like to have that feedback, but since when the ones come through that were not requested, they're extra saucy. They have a little extra organic feel to them. We're grateful for the bad ones as well. Like, we always want to consistently get better, and it lets us know where we can do better, lets us know where we can improve, lets us consistently chase that perfectionist goalpost that's always moving. And that is the challenge. The orchestration of the moving parts that is an in-house full-service roofing company. So, why am I here talking to you today? Well, just a little bit of an update. We have quite a few things in the works here, and it's now December 2nd, and I recorded one of these yesterday, but I was like, let's give it another try, see what else we can come up with here. Because I was so single track minded on that last one, I thought at least we could be a little more broad and updating from a cloud perspective, and not so much I was letting my ego get. Well, I was trying to explain why the ego wasn't. So we're gonna go through that as well, and the ego is the enemy, and ultimately, and to realize that there are limitations, but there are opportunities, and knowing how to balance those in the pursuit of a future with flawless execution for roofing experiences, both from the installation aspect of things, the admin aspect of things, the clerical side, the relationship side, both with customers, manufacturers, suppliers, key partners to making this whole thing flow. And I could give out shout outs all day, and they may not be watching, but we're ever thankful and endlessly thankful for all these key components that help make it happen. Nick had ordered a skylight 3 months ago in transit from across the Atlantic. This client had to have this high-end single 12 $1,000 skylight. And we're just like, okay. And, we tried to talk them into just going standard double pay. It's not even an egress, it's not even anything fancy. But, the whole time so far, it's landed in Portland. We're set to install it here in a couple days, weather permitting. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Hopefully everyone got a ton of pie. I think I did about 2.5 pies, probably about 2 myself. Costco should sponsor me at this point, but it's this skylight is, we haven't touched it so far because I've seen so many orders now come through damaged. I was just telling the guys, let's wait to see it on the truck and inspect it on the truck, and then we'll go from there. So, out of a 5,000 mile plus journey, I'm sure it is crated properly. They're not going to send something over like that willy-nilly. But choosing the right supplier is well to load it, because it's a 3-story 1212 metal. It has this like mansard metal section, so the skylight sits on the flat part of the mansard up there in the hills, and it is important. It's probably a 4-man skylight, just with like the framing's probably gonna be that. It's almost, I think it's like a 6x6, but it's got some special bells and whistles this person needed to have. So I don't even want to call it the Cadillac. It might be like the Aston Martin of skylights. Skylights, not satellites. And we'll see. It'd be interesting. Definitely catch it on video, at least the delivery, the aspect, and the install. Sits up there on a membrane part of the roof, so if we need to do any sort of re-welding, we definitely will. Probably do like a double weather strip on the frame as well, the curb. But no, I just got done with a couple quotes. If you ever drive by the shop in the mornings, you're like, what the hell is that guy doing in there? Like, he never freaking leaves. It's because I'm quoting like a fool. Like, I'm out in here just punching numbers on these specified requests coming through in the commercial side for new construction, which generally my like unofficial mentors would tell me to stay away from. But the relationship side, as the economy shifts, and who knows, I just saw something on my algorithm saying 2026 is going to be the best year, and then other people are like 2026 is not going to be fun at all. Like, there's all these back and forths, no one knows. I'm optimistic. I see a little further than I ever have into the future, and I think 2026 will be fun. So that's part of the second half of this video that I want to cover, is like, I had to make a really hard decision over the last weekend. Over Thanksgiving weekend, I had the conversation with the vendor yesterday, and I'm going to walk you through my thought process. And I thought it was pretty reasonable, but, ultimately, I think initially what I wanted out of the deal was a lot more egotistical than logical and reasonable, even. So, opportunities present themselves in strange ways, and there have been so many of these synchronistic, beautiful opportunities throughout the last 8 years that have been like, yes, 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 yes. And you just go through, and you kind of miss, they always say this, right? Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100%. And I don't know why he's playing golf with fucking Trump. Like, that seems like a bad PR move, but, Canada's pissed about it, I guess. But that being said, I wonder how good he shoots. Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and that there lies not only growth and opportunity, but the lessons that ensue for capacity, for all the different aspects. And that's how I've carried us through commercial land, which is starting small, but knowing that these big opportunities, when they come, that we will have the reps. And so far it's flowing. But that being said, the opportunity that comes through it didn't shock me, but I was just like, okay, holy shit, is this like what I worked for the last 8 years to get to this? And initially it was a fuck yes, right? If it's not a fuck yes, then it's a fuck no. Excuse my French. It initially was like a dream. And I think just seeing the opportunity, the partnership, what they were putting down, seemed like a decent ROI. And they'll give it to someone else, that's fine. I've accepted this. But I was really trying to reason through, why did I want it? Was it the right move? What is the technical ROI going to be if I am to wade into this uncertainty? Keep in mind, I'm like certain about my 2026 plan and what I have in store for client experiences, for commercial repair, gutters, all the small services as they add up to a whole. And we have, I think, a pretty solid plan for continuing to flow, continuing to grow. And lofty goals, because if you shoot for the stars, you fall on the moon. And ultimately, there's a bigger picture to at play. And I was thinking, how does this affect the bigger picture? What about my team? And we're not a huge company. We have just over 20 people on payroll, and it fluctuates in the season. We hire a lot more in the onboarding of the spring. As I'm trying to reason, is this the right move? I'm thinking about the team, thinking about this already pre-existing 2026 plan that I thought was pretty buttoned up, and having now 7 years of momentum behind us to get customers a superior value in their investments on both resi and commercial was something that I was completely prepared without this opportunity to tackle. And I've never had as good of a team. I've never had as good of a team that is excited about the future. And the client base, I feel like, now we're not flawless by any means, like we're not perfect at all. We have a lot of room to grow, which is that constant pursuit of perfection. But there's a lot of excitement about the future. And so overall, this is the vibe of flow, is that holy shit, we just attracted this amazing opportunity. Now let's dive in. I'll tell you guys, you'll be like, shut up and just get to the point. I'm doing this ongoing training, so if I'm looking over here, excuse me, that I'm a little distracted, just to want to make sure that keeps on going. Oh, but yeah, no second cup of coffee will always get me rambling. So, anywho, I do these videos because I never want there to be, and this is something that I try to commit to, and there's people out there that do it a lot better, right? I don't feel like I deserve a videographer yet. I was like, well, I want to make sure we have the shop, I want to have the showroom, I want to have people lined up where they're supposed to be. We'll probably bring one in in 2026 just because I'm going to be at capacity for the editing aspect of it. I cannot. This is one of the reasons why I keep things low budget is because I cannot go through, and there's software I bet you that can do this, but you can plug in the video and then it clips out the short form from the long form. Great. That is even a stretch for my capacity. It's like, I just want to go to the gym, right? I just want to go work out. I want to go surfing and help people get where they need to go. And so, I don't have a family. It's like, for me, the business is the baby, and the team members, they're my children, right? Like, if you ask a home service business, I think, who the clients are, it's the team. Because the team is the one who serves the customer. So if you don't got a happy team, how can you have a happy customer? And so, I think we have relatively low turnover up until I see that it's not a good fit. So if it's not a good fit, it's because of lack of effort. Ultimately, it's going to be a mindset issue, because if you don't have the will to get better or the humbleness to want to learn and get better and come in without any excuses as a professional every single day, which is, it's harder for me to translate to in Spanish, but this is one of the reasons why I try to lead by example. So there's been past videos that have been on the roofs of the crews. Like, these guys will see me hoof up a bundle on a 28 or a 32 up to the roof. They'll see me trimming up membrane, like getting things prepped. Like, I didn't ever want to be the gringo that was just pointing and shouting. That seems like what a lot of guys would probably do. And I mean, if flow is to be considered the full service professional, then how am I going to train the team on things that I don't understand, right? So go through and make sure that the finer details of what makes a good metal system, that makes a good membrane system for these NDL warranties, or these WeatherTech warranties, are buttoned down. The Emerald Premium warranties that we're soon, spilled the beans, we're going up in the upper echelons in the malarkey realm. We have ICO, and everyone's got their opinions. Oh no, ICO. I only put ICO on our proposals because Roofing Insights, Dimitri and the guys that in his network all rated ICO 2024 and previous shingles of the year. I think everyone understands that asphalt ain't as good as some other brands, and so we give it some of our budget options, or that ICO option. It's good for, it's a builder-grade product. It gets the job done, but it ain't gonna last more than 15 years, right? They say 20 on paper. That's a lie. So Malarkey says 40 on paper, but it prorates after 20. It tells you their actual product lifespan. The Dimitri points out this too, and it was funny. Right when he mentioned it, I was like looking into it as well. The commercial side of the product warranties will show you the actual product lifespan, because the property turnover is so low in commercial. They're buy and hold. It's like, how often does a church go up for sale? That will show you how the true lifespan of what the manufacturer thinks that the product will last. So there's your real ROI. But for whatever reason, in residential land, because the turnover is 7 to 12 years national average on home ownership, then people understand, or well, the manufacturers understand that they'll maybe never have to honor product warranty. And that's some bullshit, frankly, for homeowners, because they get sold on the big old fancy 5.0, the big 50-year warranty, right? But it doesn't mean it's going to last that long. And, these salesmen will come in with commission breath and tell you everything you want to know, everything you want to hear. And at that point, it sounds too good to be true. You'll never have to worry about it. It'll last forever. It's your forever home. It'll be the last roof you ever have to deal with. Well, I'll be here to tell you that even if you ventilate that thing to the nines properly, balanced, she's flowing. That will help increase the lifespan and overall home efficiency, but it's not going to be a forever roof. So I don't know who started it. It could have been Gap, could have been Owens Corning, Certainty. They all have these systems. What's odd is Malarkey doesn't have a full integrated system. And been poking them at this for years, at least our rep, and it's actually an opportunity there. But Malarkey's warranties are super fair. We've only had maybe 1 or 2 product claims over the years, and in this year too, we had one during install. Installers go, "Hey, these shingles are no good," and take a look at them, and it's actually a granular issue with the base sheet. It was almost like an ice and water. It was just sandy. It didn't have any grit in it. It was definitely a defect. So the entire roof had to be redone, but we were only halfway through when we found out. So they delivered shingles, and suppliers in Malarkey had product on the roof before the warranty claim was even completed. But I feel like that's a relationship thing, because they know, like, out of thousands of roofs that we've only had 1 or 2, literally 1 or 2 claims. I think that's a testament to Malarkey. And that's something that, even though Malarkey has got 3 plants across the states, I think that pales in comparison to Owens Corning, Certainty, and Gap. Those are going to be your high volume product that's going to be mass produced, that's going to have a higher failure rate for whatever reason. Just big batches, things go wrong. Generally, they got good quality control, R&D there for it. So, okay, back to the opportunity. I don't know why I'm getting this. I'm not sick. George came in. He was sounding like this yesterday. I feel fine, but I did go 4 days straight on the workout, so my body's probably tired. We'll see. It may be a rest day. Okay, this opportunity. The different aspects that I was trying to consider for it was that part of the allure of the opportunity was that they didn't let everyone swarm in. So it wasn't that there was exclusivity, which was my biggest, like, okay, well, you want me to spend this, but I'm not granted any exclusivity. That, okay, I can accept that. What else, though? Hold on here, sorry. I was trying to find, like, I'm doing a little more research in AI. I'm not really, like, gung-ho on it. I think there's going to be, obviously, though, they say that you're going to be left behind if you don't integrate and don't use it. But it's like, there's a time and a place for it, but then there's also the humanity of home services that I think will draw a lot of people. And you ain't going to get, like, the empathy. The empathy is not going to come through with an AI. If you're frustrated, or if you are upset, or if you're concerned, whatever, you're just, like, going to be talking to a wall. Now, maybe they can probably increase that over time, but I'm trying to get on my damn website here. Kind of helps me organize this tangential train from derailing. Okay. Got some side projects here. We'll open up to 2 visitors in the last 30 minutes. It's not super impressive at all, but tracking. So I built this website myself. I got so much time in it. it's kind of like, I call it a piece of art. And, a marketer, an SEO guy would be like, yeah, dude, this sucks. But I've heard that a million times. But the truth of the matter is, it's when it comes down to it, it's really just a funnel that provides information that helps educate clients about who we are, what we do, why we do it, and what we do, what we use. So, site sessions over time, October 4th to November 2nd, 8,416. And it says all site contacts are down. I blame that on like the weather, and also here we are going into the holidays, just coming out of Thanksgiving. People are not. I mean, they may be shopping on like Black Friday or Cyber Monday, but they're not like shopping for home services unless it's necessary, which is, I think, our strategic advantage, is that we try to position ourselves as the preserve and protect company locally for small services, specifically repairs. Notice it says repair, maintain before it says replace. And since this has been made, we added restore. But this opportunity. So we get this email come across, and initially it's a fuck yes, right? And I am super stoked. I see the future. This is the dream. Like, I should be stoked. Went to an event this last weekend to make sure that this was going to be the right move, and gave a facelift to the website for 2026. We updated all of our pricing to be both more competitive in every direction, more buttoned down in every direction, with clarity that we've never had before, and to try to make sure that we're giving the team all the tools they need to be as successful as they can be, so that you clients can have the smoothest flowing roofing project possible. And so this email comes through. It's a marketing agency, which is a red flag, but it had a logo attached with it, in association with it, and that piqued my interest. And I can't remember who said something. It may have been Kate, who was like, hey, you should probably check out this. These guys are asking if you want to partner with the Blazers. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, let's take a look here. And so it actually turns out to be legit. And, I had to educate them a little bit, because they kind of use a little scarcity on me, which is like nails on chalkboard, because when you're in, like, if you're ever around sales, you can kind of understand when someone's pitching you something. And at that point, it smelled great. I was like taking it in like as a giant rose. I was like, okay, here we go. Tell me about it. And so, realistically, like, the investment was there. Like, my sister gave me a thumbs up, and I was seeing stars. I was like, okay, tell me more. What do we get? What's the ROI? What do we expect? Like, you get a couple partner meetings. You get a band and a ribbon shout out on the ring, like, once a game. But here's the thing, no exclusivity, right? And so I was very much actively listening, because I saw that being like an active opportunity, a realistic opportunity for 2026, but it was never a realistic expectation that I put in my 2026 plan. And so meanwhile, like, I was, we talked so much, so thoroughly, and I was so stoked on the whole thing. I was like, okay, send me the contract, send me everything you need. And I was going to pull the trigger, and it was the Friday after Thanksgiving. So we talked on Wednesday. Thanksgiving was Thursday. I had that day to think about it, get the documents on Friday, and I'm staring at the whole thing, and I'm just like, something isn't. What is the thing that's telling me wait right now? What is the thing that's holding me back? And I was, why wasn't it immediately yes? And rationalizing what my long-term vision is for the direction of flow, where I want us to flow, how I want us to grow, how much I want us to grow. The ROI of being partnered with the Blazers, with what they were pitching at the value and the investment they were asking, has an undisputable ROI, which means you're going to get some sort of trust, possibly kickback from being associated with the Blazers, but it is not necessarily a maximal ROI. And so keep in mind, like, we're not bootstrapped. I mean, we're not private equity owned, we're bootstrapped. This whole thing comes from me selling slices of pizza 7 years ago and having cleaned squirrel shit out of gutters 5 years ago. And I thought, wow, is this when and where it almost seemed like this would be something that was like a finish line-esque style opportunity. And I was like, well, I'm not finished. Like, you guys are going to see a little bit more of me till like 2030. Like, I'm in the game here. At least I want to be. So, my sister, she says, do it if you want. And I'm like, okay, let me think about it. So I sleep on it, not just one day, I sleep on it the whole weekend. And I'm like, what is the thing that's holding me back here? And ultimately, because of the 2026 plan, there will be growth, either direction, with or without the Blazers. There will be growth. But my impression of the marketing agency offering me this opportunity is that they used a little bit of the sales tactics that I fucking hate. The fear, the scarcity, the exclusivity wasn't there. And so I think it would almost have been like throwing money away. Now, the reason is because I went to a Seahawks game recently, my first Seahawks game. And the Seahawks have a company that I don't think sits very well with very many people in the Northwest, maybe around the country. They're nationwide, sleazy company, got a butterfly in their logo, okay? And a lot of people in the industry probably know who I'm talking about. And they're a high-pressure car lot for your home. And they're taking advantage of people and overcharging and under-delivering. Consistently, they're a paper contractor, which is exactly who I like to go up against because their value proposition is not aligned with high quality, which is what you want for roofing and gutters. And so so the marketing agency is associated with the Seahawks and that firm. And I was like, okay, well, if this 9-figure company, right? There's little flow, then there's this massive 9-figure company is doing business like that with the Seahawks, and they're perceived to be expensive, then I don't want there to be any misconceived judgment that if Flo was partnering with the Blazers, that we're also considered expensive, especially because we're supposed to be like the hometown hero. Like we have something for everyone, which is against private equity, like recommendations. Any sophisticated business person would probably say there's beauty in simplicity, but I'm in this game to consistently get better. So the challenge is making sure that you can reduce liability by simplifying complexity, which I'm not trying to like throw around fancy language here. It's basically that my priorities is to ensure that customers are protected properly, the job's done properly, efficiently, cost effectively, on budget every time. I mean, if we send out a change order, it's because there's legitimate damages, rot, right? We're not out there searching for shit we don't need to replace. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's counter to a lot of other people's models out there. In our market, some of our top competitors are private equity owned, which then washes and dilutes the real customer experience, because then there's alternative motives that may push things that you may not need because they don't have the priorities aligned with doing roofing the way the best in the industry should, that they do, right? And that's not to say that Flow is the best in the industry, but we try to observe the best and align ourselves with what are the best doing and how can we get better and consistently improve over the years. And I've tried to do this by investing in the equipment and then finding and training the individuals. So I had $20,000 in welding equipment, like the generator and all the other leasters and everything for membrane work. I mean, 6 months it was just sitting in the shop, but I was like, wow, I just bought this and I'm going into the winter and flat roof season is over, like what I do. And then spring comes and you find the right people. That's those are serendipitous moments when actually it works out. And so back to the opportunity though. The Seahawks, this butterfly peoples, they're nationwide, they're sleazy, they're high pressure. It's not how we flow. Like we let you guys make the decision in the comfort of your own home. We give you the best information possible and we give you a menu of options to choose from. The simplicity of the proposal is logical and easy to read. It's that the options are there's something in there for everyone. Whether you want to go for a metal luxury system, a synthetic, or if you want to drop down to a basic system, it depends on what your risk tolerance is, your value-based decision-making principles, your investment strategy, your journey. You know, are you a new homeowner or are you the grandpa and this is it? Like, this is the spot. And so there's something in there for everyone based on the values that they have acquired through family and experiences over time, which I've found to be the thing that resonates best with most people, because they don't want to be sold something they don't need, and they definitely want to make sure they know they want it. So then give them something that they want and show them what they need, and the two will create something special. At least that's my belief. That's how I train my inspectors. So through education, knowledge is power, and you empower the client to make better decisions by giving them knowledge, and then they'll ultimately ask the professional they feel like they trust the best and has the most experience for the dollar value that they're looking for. So Blazers comes through. I'm worried that if we go in with the Blazers, like, even though it's not like an upper tier Fred Meyer level $1 million plus like sponsorship, it's like a local small business partnership. I was turned off by the reality that I know people would say, well, if Flow's got a Blazers partnership, then they must be a little more expensive to afford that, right? Like, because there's no real public information around what these sponsorships cost. But if you are associated with a professional league, then you're spending money that you are perceived to have in excess of, that then dissociates you with value and affordability, and automatically shoots you up to they're expensive. And so now there is an ROI to catering to the perception that the people that associate with the professionals appreciate that professional treatment, right? That if you are associated with a professional league like the Blazers, then your standards must be in alignment with the best of the best. And that's actually what I wanted more than anything. But here's the thing. The ROI of this particular partnership, and I don't know why I'm making such a big deal of it. I just want to get it off my chest, because I really wanted it. And so me and Dane Dane helped me build the pizza trailer back in the day. Me and Dane go to a Blazer game over that weekend too. and we were playing OKC. OKC right now, and they beat us, unfortunately. They're still slated to be one of the best in like history, possibly. We could have easily beat them, which is sad. But Damon wasn't in. There's a bunch of other things. The shots weren't landing. I was upset, and I was looking around. It's what's odd is like there's a window company on the jersey, also pretty penny, but they also get the same visibility that Fred Meyers gives and everything else. That is the level that I would want to play at some point. Not let's just be a little bubble in someone's marketing campaign, and hopefully, so the real ROI of, like, granted, say there's 20,000 people in the stadium. 25+% of those people are probably renters, and then we'll say 50% of the people are homeowners. Let's say maybe 10% of the people are in the market for home services, actively shopping for things they know that they might need. So you got 10%, you got 1,000, 2,000 people, maybe. And the odds of them seeing your logo at the time when they shout out this local services, at the time they'll need the services, if they go to a game, right? Again, like the population of Blazer fans that go to a game that are homeowners that are actively shopping. And I talked to multiple people, like no one's like, oh, I can't wait to shop for a roof at a Blazers game. No one's expecting that. It's really purely just brand awareness, and at the level that the marketing agency was providing. Now, I really wanted it. That's why I'm so upset about it. It's like, well, I'm going to let this go. And so I had the conversation yesterday with the guy, and it's like, hey, I didn't sign the documents. I think there's a better ROI for us elsewhere, and it's back to my original 2026 plan, sticking to my guns because of what I know has worked in the past. Low and slow is how we flow. This cadence of being like a river flowing through a canyon over time, constantly edging our path into this local economy around the Pacific Northwest. And we've got some amazing opportunities outside of this. Now, I didn't want that to be hindered in any way by taking they say, resources from that plan. It's so pure to me that, because maybe in 5 or 10 years, we can have the opportunity to sponsor the Blazers in a way that the fancy window company got to do. And I wouldn't want to give up that opportunity to have this egotistical association that would ultimately, I think, hurt the brand in the association that, well, if you can afford a Blazers sponsorship, you must be a little more expensive. When it comes down to it, I still have the subcontractor mindset, like that we are here to serve our clients, and in a lot of cases our clients are still GCs, and so we do serve like retail customers on the level that a homeowner or a property owner may want, but we love our relationships with our GCs, and so that those relationships require competitive affordability in roofing, to have vertical integration, full service, so that you have the competitive advantage. When you control the labor, you have the ability to squeeze your prices down so that you can win the project, right? And we carry this through as well in our residential approach. So anyway, I got to tell the guy I'm not interested after a bunch of back and forth in my own mind. A lot of these same thoughts I was kind of rattling around with over the weekend, and was trying to reason around, like, okay, what do we want? What are we going to do? What do I want? What does the team need? What does the company need? Because we got some momentum. We have some inertia in what we're trying to accomplish and where we want to grow. And I really just don't want to mess that up. You don't want to throw a rock in the river and it creates let's use a lake, for example. Like, you don't want to throw a rock in a still pond. You want that pond to stay completely tranquil if you want to appreciate it the way I like to appreciate it. So I love glassy water, and like one of my favorite waves I ever caught almost looked like an oil slick. It was so smooth as like, and it was a sunrise set, so like as the sun was like coming, it was bouncing on the wave, and then it was just like orange and red in my face. And it was like one of the longest waves I ever caught. It was actually in Africa, and one of the most beautiful moments. And I try to remember, like, okay, like, how do we get more moments like that? How can we have a company like that wave? And so that's what we're trying to accomplish. That's the reason why, and a lot of people would never actually even know that we are saying no to the Blazers, but it's not the Blazers. It's actually the marketing company pitching it to me. So I love the Blazers. I think that Damian and the guys are going to do great things. Here's the other thing. It's like, for the price they were asking, I can give away season ticket, like, badass seats as giveaways and probably get equal or better publicity than to use their mark. And it would come across a little more small businessy, which is what I like. And so, we're going to try some cool things, I think, in the future. There's some stuff that we've got coming down the pipe for everyone that's going to add value in a lot of different ways. And 2026, I think, is going to be an amazing year. We're in the roaring 20s of the 2020s, right? Century, like, history repeats itself. Got to be careful after 2030, though. So, anyway, hope you're all chasing your dreams. Hope you all continue to flow, continue to grow. These are some of my thoughts, and this is where we're at. But it's been a minute since we had a check-in. If you listen to my ramble, congrats, cheers, and I to try to keep it on the real. Like, I don't want to, granted, everyone's got nice studios and stuff. Like, maybe we'll get to that point, but I'd actually appreciate how low budget Alex Hormozy keeps his stuff for being the guy he is and what he has created. And so trying to follow the footsteps of what success looks like, so that way hopefully someday we can reach a level of success that might be appreciated by others, and it's going to be a nice, smooth flowing. I mean, it's not going to be smooth. There's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations, so that's for sure. But that's part of the challenge. That's part of the game. And so hope you guys stick around, and happy holidays to you. Safe travels to everyone. We'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.